my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the
Everybody
procedure,
stay
everyone?
calm.
What's the procedure?
Stay calm!
Wait.
Everybody calm down!
Help!
Here,
Oh,
take my hand.
ah!
Come on. You're gonna fall unless you take my hand.
No, give me your other hand.
Oh, my other hand isn't strong enough. You take my little hand.
No, get it away from me!
Take it. Take my hand.
I hear the train a-comin', it's rollin' round the bend.
Good morning, everybody. How are you this fine Friday morning? Probably not where you are in the world, but it is where I am. 7 o'clock, up bright and early, ready to attack the day. Do I sound like it? I'm not going full screen today because I look kind of glazy-eyed. How the bloody hell are you? Hope you're good. I see you all there now. I'm at that time of the morning, even though I got up an hour ago, I'm still trying to figure out how to function. I don't know if that happens to you early in the morning, but some days it happens to me, even though I got a good night's sleep last night. Maybe I had too much sleep. That's the problem. I'm going to try and find the link to the mailing list. Thank you to everyone who's joined the mailing list. Still join. Thank you, and I appreciate you. It's still happening. Still getting new people signing up pretty much every day, which amazes me. Thank you very much. I'm going to put the, join the mailing list link. Skip's got to go. Skip, I just started. I was looking forward to having some banter with you. I'm glad you're here anyway, Skip. It's great to see you. He said, I see punctuality is still optional. I am on Bogan time. For anyone who isn't aware, Skip is a channel OG, and he has been working on many comics, the latest of which is Sleight of Hand, which he has informed me he's still working on. But Skip suffers what a lot of artists suffer, which is the quest for perfection, and he keeps redrawing pages. It's like these people who they do loose pencils, tight pencils, inks, just draw it. Creative WM Personal asks a very pertinent question, and that is, who is first? Where's my comments gone? Where's my... Oh, there they are. Thank God. Oh, my God. I thought I'd lost them all. You were. And people who came in, because I put these streams up early last night. It's been up for 7 hours. I think it gets refreshed after certain times. So Mo came in and thought he was stacking first, but no, there was actually Creative. You were there. Then Megatonic Audio. Then Ellie New Dungeoneer. Then Jeremy Burtz. Then Jav Styler. And then Mo. Shenanigans, says Mo. I've got it right here. I mean, they're all here. Creative WM came in at least 5 hours before you. So that's what I'm going with. Hang on, where are my banners? Plop, plop, ding. There we go. 2 for the year. You're already way ahead, mate. You got like 24 or something. So you're doing fine up there. Hello to everyone. Megatonic, Ellie, Jeremy, Jav, Hail Mo, the ever gatekept, still gatekept. How many weeks has it been? Shocking. Pastmaster Dan, why are you up so early? Because no one else is going to draw these comics. Well, I say that. No, Rod is actually drawing these comics for me. But no one's going to color them, unless I pay someone, which I don't want to do. Rather just do it myself. We've got Cranberry Langers in the house. Well, he was here. Now he's taken off, just like Skip. Everyone leaves me. Duck Bacon is here. What's up, Duck? I see Katie. Hello. Katie showed up just in time to address Cranberry's accusation. What is that accusation? I feel like I'm missing out on some important information here. Victoria tried to color them, but Bancroft turned up his nose. Very true. That did happen. All I demand is perfection. Is that so much to us? And Victoria's of that age, so let me tell you a little story. The other day, I was, when I send out new books, I put in all the same stretch goal stuff, all the tchotchkes, but I didn't have any packed up, so I had been having to make them up individually as I'm shipping out, which is a little annoying. So I had the box of stuff there and the posters, the prints. I said, Victoria, for $5, how about you put all these in here? She got started. She's like, yeah, great, I'll do that. She started the other day, and then she just got about, I don't know, a third of the way through, and then just started watching TV. These kids these days, I think they're Generation Alpha. They just don't have the gumption that I require in my business, as I charge them slave labor or nothing at all. Creative says, Paul Mo Biggs, even I get free memberships. It really is a scandal. It could be a conspiracy. Michael sounds ill. It could just be me in the morning. You have a bit of a deeper voice in the morning. It's 7 a.m. here, and even though I did get up an hour ago, still waking up. Oh, Skip is still here. Excellent. May the banter begin. We got Michael in the house as well. Past Master Dan. What's up? All right, so we continue on. The most exciting phase of comic book creation, which is the flatting, as everyone knows. Join us all together as we bring this book to life through the joys of laying down flat colors. But essentially, it's coloring in. We've all been there. We've all done that in this. It's basically professional coloring in. This is an interesting page because well, let me actually stop that. I'll show you what I'm doing here. That's Damon. First ever meeting. Look at that. She tries to punch him, but in her defense, she was punching everyone else. She was kicking butt. You saw them all the bad dudes. And she turned around and there's this dude and she just went for the punch, but it's not any old dude. But she can't punch him, unlike everyone else. He seems to have a added layer of difficulty. I guess he'd be the final boss in that sense. She's taking swings at him. Rod, I said, Rod, see what you can do. Imagine, like, this is my most Matrix moment. When they're doing the kind of thing. So I might blur these arms. They're all separate. I can turn them on and off. Ding, ding. But I'm going to leave them on for now. Damon's just dodging, ducking and diving. And then he just sort of slaps her away, and her own momentum causes her to fall down. It's an embarrassing moment for Ella in her own dream, nonetheless. So that's what's going on here. But what I might have to do is I might have to take a copy merged of all this. I'm going to hide all this. Do it like that. So it's all together. She's a swinger. Well, not in that sense. She's a very well-behaved young lady. Are you going to color the lines on the arms? I don't know what I'm going to do with them. I'm going to keep them separate. I might put a blur on them. I don't know. I don't know. I'm undecided. I just kind of wing it. A lot of coloring is problem solving, and you just sort of you do it and then you see, does that look good? Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. All right, I'm just checking all my tools, making sure they're all set up correctly. I have been using Photoshop again for work. Whatever looks good, I think, is what I'll do. But I don't know, sometimes you start adding in too many features, too many special effects, and I want it to feel Lucenty, if that makes sense. And you kind of I've established certain things in the creation of the main books. That's one of the bigger reasons, as well as, cost cutting, that I'm coloring it myself. So it does feel still Lucenty. We got Henry in the house, joined us. What's up, Henry? And as well, it means I get to have content on the channel as I work on this stuff. I'm also continuing work on the third book. At the moment, I've been doing a little script polishing, because I wanted to get it 100% sorted. Obviously, you really do need to get it 100% sorted before I start the layouts, which I hope to be starting not too far away. I'll just brush that in. It's easier. The multiple appendages are referred to as India art for its often and historical use. I did not know that. Thank you for the information. Yeah, I kind of think of it as a manga thing, but I could be wrong in that. I know Eric Canetti does a lot of the blurring. Basically, on every page, something is blurred. But the thing is, once you start with that, where do you end? It's like color holds. You could put color holds on every single page, and that's when you put color over the line art. But at what cost? It's a whole nother. That actually takes a long time to do. It's a long time to set up. Some artists, you need it 100% because they just do too detailed otherwise, and you can't tell anything. You can't make anything out. I probably will have to do some holds on this book. That's fine. Did you all see Ripper launch the Horseman? I got an email. I didn't know that I was even signed up to these lists. I don't know how I got on that list. I don't remember. I must have back in the day. I must have joined a mailing list or something. I clicked on his website because I'm always interested in that stuff. I remember he had big problems back in the day with it being slow, and I reckon it cost him an insane amount of money back in the day because the website was crashing. Anyway, I got in straight away, really kind of, I don't know, within a couple of hours of launch or an hour of launch, and it was super fast. But the layout of the whole website has completely been updated, and I have to say, as someone who has worked on websites before, it's very impressive now. It's like a full-on professionally designed site. I'm a little bit jealous, actually. I might have to just have some ideas, capture them floating around in the air. I like what he did. He has the variants as options on the same product. That was pretty cool. Why isn't my chat updating here? Come on, chat. Get it working. Drew McWeeny. Now there's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Mo says it's great to see everyone enjoying their memberships. Shocking. I feel relieved now. I can actually talk a little bit more about Damon. Before it was very much the kind of that, you know, in the Phantom Menace when it's Darth Sidious. Oh, who is it? You know, not saying it's the same character, but you know, for the longest time I was just saying, you know, the motorbike helmet guy. Who could it be? Oh, I don't know. Unless you haven't read Paint to Death, in which case, oops. But KSS in the house, giving the fist bump. What's up, bro? King Ban is here. Pastmaster Dan says, you know, there's still a few likes available. Hit them while they're hot. Please do. Thank you to everyone who left reviews yesterday. Got a few more. Love seeing them. You know, I realized almost no one, unless you got your book on Amazon, which is not very common. I think JDA does. I think Chris Fisk does. I'm not sure. Not many people have actual reviews up available that you can read about the book. I mean, I don't know. I guess you could kind of troll through the comments of an Indiegogo page, but it's not quite the same thing. Because that's more, a lot of the time that ends up just being customer service. People asking for updates or requesting things. Speaking of Amazon, I was thinking of actually putting Paint to Death on Amazon, but I don't know how it works. I don't know. Mostly, I don't know how the shipping works because I know there's free shipping for Prime members, but there's no way I can afford to send this stuff free shipping. So I'm gonna have to look into that. But it seems like it's the play. You know, something you should probably do. God damn it! What is happening? Oh my god! And after all that. Mo says, I gasped when motorcycle helmet guy took off his helmet and those silver locks spilled out. That wicked glint in his eye as he sniffed the air like a degenerate bloodhound. Dramatization. Man enough happened. Yes. Classic moment. You know, sometimes when I'm lying in bed and I'm sort of just going through plot points and whatever of the story as I'm lying there, I come up with some really funky things because I think I'm sort of half falling asleep, half in a dream. And man, and then I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, what was I thinking? You know, like crazy stuff. Werewolves and kaiju monsters. And I'm like, that's not the Lucent. What is going on? Like, I know I was just thinking that. All right. Because at the time I'd be thinking, oh yeah, that's a great idea. That talk about subverting expectations. And then I remember, no. Could you offer the book as a digital on Amazon? I think you definitely can. Yes. So I want to put it on Global Comics. I like that. I like the idea that it's on there. It's got a format you can actually read. Though I actually did have some issues with formatting because I've got double page spreads in Painted Death that really, really need to be seen in the double page format. They don't work as single pages, but then that's annoying for people who are trying to view the PDF. So I've had to send out a couple of different options for that. I like how Global Comics does the highlight panel thing. And also, you can, I'm pretty sure you can set up codes and stuff. That just seems easier and better to me for people to read digitally. I always felt like sending out a PDF is a bit kind of budget. I don't know. But maybe that's just my thinking. Gobblade says, filling out a review is a bit of a learning curve for me. You left a review? No, thank you, sir. I mean, you can just say, book arrived. Thank you. That's what they do on eBay. Others have left some very detailed, very much appreciated feedback. Thank you, Gotblade. You are in the running to win. You could be having this next week. Actually, in a couple of days, I'll be drawing the first winner. Mark's Music Obsession has about 10 entries, so if this were a raffle, he's in with a chance. Well, I guess it's kind of a raffle. I think I'm just gonna do them with a brush. Oh no, that's all. No, that's not. What's Sark saying? I've come to hate the term subverting expectations. Oh yeah, it has been sullied by The Last Jedi and everything else. And Mo points out it's because in recent years they always seem to be subverted for the worse. Yes. Like we want to subvert your expectations, so we take something good and make it terrible. There you go. Your expectations were subverted. Enjoy. Another thing I saw is there's a Australian Comic Con called Oz Comic Con that is doing its tour, starting its tour, I think next week or something. It's not going to be in Melbourne until December. I don't know. I'm thinking of applying, seeing what it costs, seeing what the dealio is. I've got no idea. I've never attended. It looks like a lot of conventions just off the website these days, a lot of cosplay and pop culture stuff. I don't know what the actual comic scene itself is like. I don't really have anyone I can ask, I don't think. But we'll see. Sumo Thori, 5 memberships. Sark, 1 Wicked Evo, Jarbez, Super Elite, Hostman's Lounge. Man, I haven't seen Hostman in a long time. I reckon that. Thank you, Sumo. Thank you very much. Thank you for trying. KSS, not a member. Duck Bacon shakes his head. Skip, Pormo. Sumo.
You little ripper!
Has anyone ever seen Super Elite ever? Super Elite what? That was Mo asking that. Maybe it's gonna filter through every single person. It doesn't make any sense though. That's not a good system. What it says, Critias is a member? Who's Critias? Where's Critias? Oh, Super Elite is one of the new channel members. All right, yeah, Super Elite. Right, I see it there. Has anyone ever seen Super Elite? Yeah, well, I didn't recognize the name, so it's gonna go through all 20,000 on the sub list. Yeah, imagine that. Godblade says I should do a 3D model of one of those panels. Sure. Godblade, is that you doing the 3D of Rob Willis's Spider-Man piece? I saw on Twitter. I saw someone on Twitter was doing a 3D like Blender thing of that illustration. That's pretty cool. He says, "Yep, excellent. No, very cool. Is that in Blender?" I suppose it doesn't really matter. I downloaded Blender, had a very quick play around in it. I didn't really. I feel like those programs there's a steep learning curve, but I do enjoy seeing people doing it well. He says, "Yes, sir." Super elite, so elite you can't even see him. All right. Jay Ryan in the house. What's up, Jay? I saw your latest piece of art you posted. Very nice. The one with the brushwork. This is one of my favorite pages, I think. I think Rod really nailed Ella, and I like how she's getting a bit humbled in her dream here. I also liked Gary yesterday saying, "I don't trust that Damon." He certainly doesn't mind using a little bit of violence as he sees fit. Godblade says, "I'm good at some of it. Usually with these programs, I mean, I only use the smallest part possible of Clip Studio. I basically just use a brush. That's it. I don't do anything else in it. Photoshop, I know a lot more, but still, you're only ever scratching the surface with Photoshop. There's always so much more to learn." We've got Jake in the house. He says that Damon is a curious fellow. Curiouser and curiouser. Indeed. I was talking to Mel the other day about, when it's not going to be for a while, but when I sell out of the first editions, what the second edition cover might be. And I was thinking, I've never had Damon on a cover. But I don't know. I haven't thought beyond that at all. I haven't given it a single thought past that. So I don't know. Mo says, "Have you considered a cover with Ella falling?" Maybe. There's lots of different ways to fall. You can stumble, you can trip, you can, you know. Sumo Thori is here. Mo says, I only use the smallest part possible, says Mo. That's not what Rod says. KSS is wondering if Super Elite is going to be upset by us all gossiping about him behind his back. Well, I hope he does use his free Super Chat membership thing. I hope that we see him around. Now that he's a Super Bogan. Ella sitting or walking might be a big ask, but think about it. Not, what do you mean, not falling? What? Look, she's falling right here, too. She's always falling. Must be terribly painful for her. Covered in bruises, I'd imagine. I posted that Artmo, and someone speculated whether it was a homage to a Daredevil cover, and the Daredevil cover is so much closer to the Paint to Death cover than the Butch Killigan cover is at all. I mean, it is close, and I'd never seen it before. But even the buildings and everything, and the pose and everything, it's very similar. I mean, it looks very different as a cover because of the way it's colored and everything. But let me see if I can find it for you. It's just like, come on. I could, so like the next time one of the Butch Killigan fans comes after me. I mean, that haven't done that in a long time, but if it were to happen again, I would say, come on, brah. Check this out. Where is it? I think it's in here. Here it is. All right, check. Get your peepers onto this. Now see that one, I could totally understand people thinking, "Oh, look, that's an homage of this Daredevil." But I never read Daredevil, and I had never seen this cover. But that's a good cover. I like it. I've always liked the really kind of graphic covers, eye-catching. We've got Eric Weathers in the house. I've acknowledged you, Sumo. I saw you. I see you. I see Zombie Boy too. Skip says, I'd accuse Daredevil of stealing your art, but he's blind. So, yeah. This is Frank. I don't know who that is. It's not Frank Miller, is it? I guess it probably would be. I don't know. What am I doing? What am I doing? I'm supposed to be working. I'm trying to be productive. It's slow going. Looks like the service deck on a Star Cruiser. It's not a feminine pose. Yeah, no. Ella, when Ella falls, she's very ladylike. She's getting quite used to it, so. It's not exactly, Mo. It's not even a DC book. How would I know it? It's not even a DC. Alrighty. Let's do some Damon. He's in. He's here. So long I've waited. The mysterious, enigmatic Damon Spector has arrived. Damn it! Screwed it up already. How does one fall ladylike? She keeps her knees together. Yes, exactly. She's not too exposed in that regard. If she doesn't keep her legs to get her knees together, at least she'll angle her fall in such a way that you won't be able to have any lewd thoughts, any lascivious musings in your mind as you see her fall. Ella's favorite song is Wrecking Ball. No, Ella's favorite song is I'm free, free falling. It's almost like it's a recurring motif, a recurring theme. KSS says, too late, I always have lewd thoughts. Well, you won't be getting them from my covers. And if you do, I have the medicine for you. I know how to squash those instincts instantly. She's topped up, but should I get up again? Not gay enough. I'll tumble for you. Is what Mo says. Bancroft dreamed of a meetup with Rod, Camel, and Rob, and this 3-armed Ella panel was inspired. We'll see what I do with them. I don't know yet. Yeah, there was a I gotta bring it up. I saw it last night before going to bed. I tweeted, I said, oh, this is how monkeypox was created. This is some freaky stuff. So this will cure your ailment, KSS. This will cure your horny. So this is from a new Fantastic Four book, I suppose. You got Johnny Storm and whatever this thing is, having a romantic moonlit layabout on the roof here at night. They're just discussing the nighttime and the beautiful lights and blah 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 blah. And then it's a little bit of like, oh, how you doing going on between the two of them, and you're like, huh, what's happening? And then down the bottom here, can you see that? Johnny of the Storm, can I kiss you? Yes, Sumo. Yes. Johnny says, well, alien thing. I mean, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't thinking of asking the same thing, but how do you? I mean, how do we? And this thing says, "Come, you're an explorer. I'm sure you'll figure it out." Eat the bug ass, bigot, says Bo Biggs. The big reveal it'll be a male alien, says Sumo. And then look, he grabs a tentacle tenderly, holding on. I wonder how squishy it is, or if it's firm and muscular. And then he's going in. He's going in for the kill. Oh, Johnny. God. Rancid. It is. Oh, it's making my skin crawl. It's pretty. This is what's going on. There's an image of it going around with them embracing. I don't know where that is. I don't know where it is. You like you would never be into comics if this is your first comic you ever picked up. I can't find it where it is. It's going around though. I could probably search it. This is Johnny Storm Bug. There. What is happening? I'm hoping it's all just a fever dream. Oh my god, there's more. There's more. Oh, it's so romantic. I love you, Angelica. It's a female bug. So I love you, Angelica, and I'm so glad I got to meet you. I love you. You've been the most exceptional experience of my life so far. I love your long horns and little tentacles on your phallic neck. Heh, heh. Tell me you won't forget me. I won't, and I'll never forget of you, Johnny of the Storm. Oh, there's a little hook on his tentacle thing. You gave me the moon. Mm. Oh my god. I remember watching Medica back in the day. And he would do these videos on degenerate deviant art stuff like bloating and weird alien stuff. And what happened to those Tumblr artists? They got better and joined up with Marvel and made this. So enjoy. Why does he have I don't know. I don't know when he grew out that handlebar mustache. Yeah, it's called Inflation. And it is something I would rather forget. But thank you, Fantastic Four, for reminding me of just how degenerate you all are. Even if it is like a weird fever dream, it's like no one wants to read that. I'm sure, the thing. Oh, you didn't read the whole story. It's actually, I don't care. The first comic I picked up was a Spider-Man, and he was swinging through the city, and he randomly came up against this dude who was he's like you didn't know if he was a hero or a villain yet. I think he was called Cardiac. And they just got into a bit of a scuffle because they just didn't know each other, and I think Spider-Man was being a busybody, and he's like, get out of my way, and then that was all right. And then the next few issues, a whole bunch of heroes got together and had a big fight, and it was amazing. There was a big gatefold cover, and as a 12-year-old, it was just like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. It was Mark Bagley, and I think it was, I don't know, I can't remember. Is it Michelini? I don't know. It was great. I don't remember any alien fornication in the middle of it all. But, if Fred Flintstone had been banging a Stegosaurus, would Bancroft have ever picked up a second comic? Exactly. And that little, who's that dude? He was sort of like a genie. The Great Gazoo. He was a bit of a dandy fella. But he kept it, he kept it PG. Michelini. Thank you. Yeah, I never knew. I never had the opportunity to hear his name actually pronounced. They were written for 12-year-olds. But, you know, and if you were still into the character when you were older, you could still enjoy them. You could still enjoy the, you know, the grand arc, continuity, the art. Is it Gazoo? It is Gazoo, isn't it? It's Gazoo. Yes, he always says dum dum. He was like the original Q. I'll pass that Flintstone comic down to my children, and then I expect them to pass it on to their children. Carry the legacy forward. The comic that I got for 30 cents at a train station in Sydney. I was 8. Massive Panda's in the house. Says, what's going on, Bancroft? How's your father? Misses my 2 a.m. streams. Yeah, we used to do those late night drawing streams. Partly because no one else was streaming. Now, like, it's actually a very kind of heavy traffic time of night. So I probably would, but there's already a ton of people already streaming, with big numbers doing all sorts of stuff. I'm like, yeah. Plus, I'm never that productive when I'm streaming. It's always a lot slower, actually. Flintstones and White-Eyed Dick, 2 of the most influential works of literature for Bancroft. It's White-Faced Dick. Faced. White-Eyed Dick. That's a whole different kind of dick, you understand. Jay says, wow, Kenneth has seen his sketch, commented on it, liked it, and retweeted it. Fantastic, dude. Congrats. Those old strings, how's your father were after work for me? So 5, 6, around then. And they used to always change times because of daylight savings. I remember that. So when Camel used to jump on, he'd be like, when are you bloody doing this? Because he couldn't, it always changed. But for us, it was always the same time. So here I am. I am currently in the flatting stage of Fractured Mind, which is the next book that I will be releasing. It's not the next book in the series. That's Ember Crown. That one is very much still in the preliminary phase. I'm kind of I'm having to rework the book a little because I just can't afford it for it to be as long as Painted Death was. And by afford, I mean how long it takes. And it is crazy. Even if you add 10 pages, it is such an addition to the overall time it takes to do a book. And then you've got to consider weight, printing costs. Doing the 100-page book, it was great for getting that much more story in. But it does cost a lot in lots of different ways. So I'm trying to figure out how to Ember Did I say Amber? Amber Crown. I maybe just have an accent. That's all. And I'm trying to figure out a way to see if I can get the amount of story that I need to get into the book in 68 pages or something like that. Which means the story would be more compressed. The pacing would be more compressed. But I actually think that will work in its favor because, I mean, if you're sort of following, if you know about story structure and you're kind of following what's happening in the story, you'll probably recognize that Painted Death is the end of the first act of the overall Lucent story. You know, now usually what happens now is the story hasn't really had a chance to stop, to pause and take a breath since way back, basically when Ella's granddad gave her the ring. It's all the way back then. It really hasn't stopped and, you know, had a pause. So there will be a little bit of like some moments so that the characters get to, you know, I wouldn't say they don't get to relax, but they're not, you know, in imminent danger. So it's probably a good thing, I think, if the actual compression is increased, so that it doesn't feel slow or anything. He says the last breath was taken when Ella's granddad inhaled the scent of panties. That is atrocious, man. And you've read Painted Death, so you know the slander you're speaking. And you're not some Rob Arnold who just opened his package yesterday before we went on stream. Mo says he went with Amber Crown because Golden Shower was too many syllables for the formula. Oh, God. Yeah, I say things. I say things and they come back and they haunt me. That's how it goes. KSS says, oh, I said white-eyed dick because of the Indians. Right, well, that makes sense. We got Slavic One in the house. How's it going? It is going well. It's a Friday here, Friday morning. I'm getting this little bit of flatting time in before I begin the working day. Rob is alive. He was on the art chair yesterday, and he said to me he wants to come back. Because you remember Rob and I used to do the art chair before I got too busy to hardly even stream. And damn it. And yeah, he wants to come back and do it again. So that's fun. It's always fun having Rob there, offering his different perspective. The Lucent Fancy Feast, suggests Moromi. There is a scene at the start of the fourth book, which has a kind of a gala sort of thing. It'll be interesting to draw Ella in a fancy, expensive dress. You know, hair done up and all that sort of jazz. I look forward to it. Although I don't look forward to drawing big crowds, but, you know, it has to be done. Your words can be used against you. I've noticed. So Bancroft, what kind of psychological meds do you take after staring at that lasso tool for hours on end, asking for a friend? Now, this is actually very calming for me. This is this with doing flats. They're either right or they're wrong. You know, there's no subjectivity to flats. You either do them correctly or you do them incorrectly. And so it's very mentally relaxing. There's no when you decide you're going to draw a comic, you've already made a decision that you're in. You're in for however long it takes to get it done. And that's going to be years, years and years and years, hundreds and hundreds of drawing, thousands and thousands of hours. And this is just part of that. So you're already consigned to work. You know, that's not, you can't, like, if every day you're struggling, you're like, oh my God, I can't have to work on my comic again. You may as well just quit. Like, you should be excited and feel, oh, I'm going to be really productive today. You know, that if that's how you need to feel when you're working on a comic. Otherwise, I think eventually you're just going to give up. Exactly, Junk. 4 years. And this is actually, I mean, it's not creative at all what I'm doing. It's just, it needs to be done. It sets up the creativity. It's, you know, laying the foundation. Look at these cool shoes Rod gave him. But you just do it. And so this is all opposed to, say, when you're staring at a page and you're like, okay, how am I going to lay this out? And then you're like, is that going to be right? Is that the best way to do it? Then you got to draw something. I've never drawn that before. How do I draw that? You know, that there's a million ways that actually are difficult, that are really mentally taxing and stressful. This is actually what I would call relaxing. Why do we fall, Michael? Says Past Master. So that we can get back up. If you stay hyped, you don't have to get hyped. Exactly. And yeah, I'm always hyped when people respond. They say they love the book, they've gotten it, and you know, then I share art and people like it. All these sort of things you can do every day to just keep you reminded, you know, this is what you're doing. To bounce, says Gotblade. That's another option. Well, here, Ella, Damon is just showing Ella, hold your horses here, love. You know, you think you're the hotness in this dream of yours, but I come bearing a message. You ain't all that and a bag of chips yet, but you could be. It's actually flat. It's actually a little bit like doing backgrounds. And backgrounds are obviously a lot more difficult than flatting. There is a creative element that goes into it. But once you've decided on what you're going to do, you come up with a system of how you're going to do it. Say, for instance, on the Eiffel Tower page, I just had to sort of come up with okay, how am I going to actually do all these things? And I ended up doing a kind of almost isometric buildings. You know, I didn't actually end up using a 3-point perspective, even though you're looking down. I used what ends up looking being isometric, because all the verticals are vertical. And once you figure that out, once you know how you're going to do it, you just get to the business of doing it. And, you know, you realize, okay, this is going to take me, you know, however long, weeks, months, whatever. Sometimes we fall because it's a dark room and we stepped on a Lego on the floor, especially if you're not wearing any shoes. That's just cruel and unusual punishment. I fell because I was playing basketball with the kids, and there was a little, you know, the cement was offset to the grass, and my ankle rolled, and I went down, as we say, like a sack of spuds, screaming. Mel thought I'd been impaled by something. The screams, the hollering. But it was so much pain. It still hurts some mornings when I get up and it's cold and stiff. But Ella's young. She'll bounce back. Past Master Dan says, just do it, Michael Bancroft. I've been served, Nike Lions. I'm not trying to trademark it. I'm just, how about just go for it? Is that better? Marumi says, I broke my foot walking in a completely dark aircraft. That sounds extremely painful. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope it's better now. And the crap thing about it is when you have a foot or an ankle injury like that, you're even if you get back to trying to walk exactly properly, you're still not doing it 100%. So then that kind of puts your back out and your hips out, and it's a whole thing. Still going through all of that. For some reason, this is Mo. For some reason, whenever Bancroft plays basketball, he loudly proclaims, I'm taking it back. I don't get the reference, Mo. Try opening your doors over your toenails, says Got Blade. No, I don't want to try that. That sounds extraordinarily painful. All right, how are we going here? I think I'm going to do the characters before any of the backgrounds, because you usually do the backgrounds and I never get the characters finished. So let's just get stuck in. Hold on a sec. We've got 6 people watching over on Rumble, and no one has said hello to me back yet. Hello, Rumble gang. I think I don't see you there. Lurking. Thank you for being here, by the way. Always appreciated. We do these things. We make these things. We think, is anyone going to care? Is anyone going to even notice? All right. Past my stand, split a fingernail last week working on an alternator, almost cried. Almost. But he didn't. He sucked it up like a man. Yeah, fingernails hurt. It isn't very manly to, whinge over your fingernails, but they can, they get dry and they peel back and they get bent back, and it's like it's a vulnerable area of a man's body. I cried in private, he said. At least no one saw you. That's the important thing. What am I looking at here? The 3-armed Ella. Maybe we could make a little thing that the arm swings around or something. Jimmy Ray's got a paper cut once. I can relate. Yeah, now that's there. It's like that hurts so much for such a little thing. It doesn't even feel right. Yeah, that's not right. KSS says I stepped on a nail. It didn't hurt going in. It was when I had to pull it out. Yeah, my cousin did that when we were kids, and it was the most horrifying thing I ever witnessed at that young age. It was a rusty nail that was sticking up, and it went all the way through, and I couldn't even bear to think of it. The screams, and then of course you had to get tetanus shots. I didn't like needles. I still don't like needles. Diddle-dee-dee. Oh, that will require a tetanus shot. You know, Mel was showing me last night that our local, I think it's Kmart. Where's her other arm? She's got 3 on this side. Does she have, is that another one over there? What do you think? It's hard to tell. I think that's probably, I'm going to make that an arm, even if it isn't. And it's full of, maybe I can find it. Kmart. It's full of Simpsons memorabilia. It is new toys. They're making it. There's a whole new range of Simpsons toys that are. Maybe I could just search Simpsons. That are cool stuff. Like some of it looks retro. Like I feel like I've seen it before. Yeah, let me show you. Where is it? Where is it? All right, you seeing that? Yes. So check this out. There's the Krusty doll, and it's in like that, the same packaging, and it has the evil and good button on the back. I also saw a Nintendo that I shared this with Jake. I saw a Nintendo the other day, and it had Superintendent Chalmers on it, so it's Super Nintendo Chalmers. It was great. There's the Moe's phone. I don't know if it's just, Moe's phone. This T-shirt was the winner. I couldn't believe it. This T-shirt was the winner of the Simpsons contest that I entered on Threadless, and I was one of, I think, 12 winners. This was the grand prize winner, and it wasn't even, they didn't do anything. Like, it's just taken straight from the show. I felt a bit ripped. This guy won $10,000 for that, if you can believe it. Imagine if they have mine on there. Doubt they would. They probably would have let me know. Or maybe not. I don't know. I thought there was more. I know. I feel like I've seen this stuff before. Back in the day. And it's just clothes. I thought it was, what's that? I remember these. I have a vivid memory of having these little figures when I was a kid. I remember touching the top of Bart's head. It was all spiky. It's the AI contest winnings. Thankfully it was all before AI. But I remember feeling like I really put a lot of work into my piece. Where can I find that piece? wouldn't even know where to look. Maybe I can just search it on my computer. Simpsons. The Simpsons. Computer's stalling out. I call it the longest running show. That's what I called it. Longest rolling show? I don't know. I might have it saved on other computers. There it is. We got it. There we go. I'm not sharing my screen. Share the screen. Yeah, I mean, first of all, I had to conceive of this, and then I had to. It's kind of low res, this version. And I actually painted every single one of these characters in this giant rolling ball, and put all of their personalities and something in there. There's so much hidden in here too. There's what do they call these things in The Simpsons? God, it's been that long. Squishy. There's the no money down. The flaming Mo. There's the rod. It's all in here. That's Grimes back there in there. Anyway. And I think they didn't end up giving me a money prize. It was just royalties for sales, but I don't know if it sold that many. So yeah. I was a little annoyed that the dude who just took a screen grab won. But anyway. That's in another life. Which character is your favorite? Ooh. Probably Homer. Yeah. The show was always best when it was centered around Homer. Although, as I became a dad, I realized I felt like I'm actually a bit like Flanders. Say a lot of diddly do and stuff like that. Sideshow Mel, he was great. Was Crabapple still alive? Why did Crabapple die? I dipped out. I don't know what happened. Which Simpsons character is the most underappreciated? Oh. That's a tough question. I don't know the answer to that. I'm sure I need to hear some arguments, Abu. Abu is the monkey from. maybe it's Abu in Sweden, Jonas. Well, they got rid of him because someone was saying that that the getting rid of Apu was the downfall of public perception of Indians. Oh, absolute travesty and a joke. It was actually a really positive depiction. Ralphie? Yeah, Abu is the monkey in Aladdin. Abu? Yeah, I mean, because he started out as just a complete generic stereotype. And I've got no problem with stereotypes. Stereotypes are stereotypes for a reason. But they really fleshed him out into an actual character. And then they got rid of him. Travesty. Jake, our resident Simpsons expert, says Apu was a character kneeling over, taking all the knives in the back for their public image. Yeah, they threw him under the bus so they could pretend to be progressive, which the Simpsons never was. The Simpsons was always kind of transgressive, so the whole thing's it was more palatable for the mainstream than South Park, but it was properly biting. And that clip I play it came out, and I don't know when it came out, a long time ago, and it is perfectly describes the the SJW takeover. Where the hell is that? I played that for my daughter, who's in school. She couldn't believe it. I said, this was made in, I don't know when it was made, the 90s or something. She couldn't believe it. Yeah, this one.
Today, we celebrate the first of many, 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 many diversity forums. Why is it that women appear to be worse at math than men? What is the source of this illusion? Or as I call it, the biggest lie ever told.
You're a worse version of Hitler.
Please believe me, I understand the problems of women. See?
The principal's a tranny.
Am I wearing women's clothes? I didn't notice. When I look in my closet, I don't see male clothes or female clothes. They're all the same.
Are you saying that men and women are identical?
Oh, no, of course not. Women are unique in every way.
No, he's saying women and men aren't equal.
No, no, no. It's the differences, of which there are none, that make the sameness exceptional. Just tell me what to say.
And there's a great follow-up to that later on when he gets demoted to being the assistant groundskeeper. Where I think it's Lisa is asking for his help, and he says, I don't know, I don't know anything anymore. All I know is that everyone's the best at everything. I gotta get it right, because it is a great quote. Skinner, everyone. Yeah. He says, all I know is that no one is better than anyone and everyone is the best at everything. I mean, that is SJW ideology in one witty sentence. All I know is that no one is better than anyone and everyone is the best at everything. It's perfect. And that, that came out decades ago. They knew what they were doing. Joe says, I was always a fan of Tingle Tangle Bob, which I later learned was just Sideshow Bob. The Germans. I watched an episode of The Simpsons in Germany. I was so disappointed, the translation. I remember thinking the translators really ruined the show, because they try to change references to kind of things that Germans would understand, but they didn't. It felt like they didn't understand the character in the first place. So there's one scene I remember where Homer is on the phone telling a story about when he stayed up. He waited to see Mr. T at somewhere, and he waited all day, and then he didn't end up seeing him. And in the German translation, they changed it to Claudia Schiffer, as if it's completely interchangeable, and that the Homer would actually wait around all day or whatever for hours to see Claudia Schiffer. That's not who Homer is. Do that. It just sucks all the charm out of that story. That the point of the story is it was Mr. T. That was the point of the story. And I mean, the Germans not know who Mr. T is? I don't know. But yeah, it was just, and they kind of gave Homer a really goofy voice, like clownish almost. I was just like, this is, yeah, it doesn't work. And that happens in, translations. But why Claudia when there was Heidi Klum? I like the Heidi Klum joke in South Park. Where he's like, oh, that what does he say? That the footballer whose wife you think is hot, but it actually kind of looks like a man. That was brutal. I was like, what are they talking about? So I went and I Googled Heidi Klum, and I'm like, oh my God, they're right. I had never seen her like that before. Hasselhoff would have fit the joke. Exactly, Mo. Exactly. And Hasselhoff is super famous. Homer would stay around hours to see Hasselhoff. They do subtitles. Yeah, the French and the German both do dubs, and oh man, it's so weird. And I remember when I first met Mel, she was like, this is what we used to. We just used to seeing films dubbed, where the sound, the audio really does sound like it's just been pasted on top, because it has. You can really hear it. It's almost like you can just see them standing in a recording studio as you're watching. But yeah, very often they get the sound of the voice wrong, and it completely, I don't know, wrecks it for me. But there's another thing you think of that I didn't really think of until later, is just say you're the guy who does Tom Cruise's voice in movies in France. That is a sweet gig, because now you're Tom Cruise to 90 million French people. So now every time Tom Cruise does a movie, you're that guy. But then I wonder, well, if you're Tom Cruise's voice, that means you can't do any other voice acting, because they'll be like, why is Tom Cruise, doing this character or whatever? I guess you could do it in animation, it would be okay. But still, it'd be a pretty sweet gig. Hasselhoff's albums, yeah, Hasselhoff is massive in Germany. It was because he was there at the Berlin Wall. He sang on when it was knocked down. He went up on there and did a song. I guess it's because his name is Hasselhoff. Kind of fits. Jeff Starler is a fan. See? He's like the John Farnham of Germany. So not big anywhere else, but you know, John Farnham is massive in Australia, but no one else cares. Mo says, I preferred the B size. It's always in the last place you look. I don't know if you guys are talking normally or these are jokes and I just don't get the reference. I love that face. I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, damn, dude, you're nailing it. Because it took him a little while to kind of figure out Ella's face, to make some adjustments. Sumo asked, do voice actors that dub live action get that recognition from the general public? I don't think so. I don't think they're known names or anything. I don't think they're famous, no. I could be wrong though. Maromi says the Tom Cruise voice actor might be dubbing with a Tom Cruise impression. They don't. Not that I've seen. I've never, and I've had plenty now, I've never seen a voice actor doing a voice. It's always just, that's their voice. And it's completely different. I mean, they try and get it within the realm. So, you know, if you imagine Mickey Rourke, I'm sure his voice actor has a very, you know, gruff, distinctive voice. I haven't heard it, but everyone else is just, that's, you know, that's their voice, and that's how the people know it, you know, in Germany and France or wherever. Jeff says Schwarzenegger and Stallone sound way better dubbed. That was another question I had in when I was, you know, when I was like, now Arnold Schwarzenegger, does he speak with an Austrian accent in French? And the answer is no. He just speaks like a normal French person. So that's weird because that's just, you know, that's a part of his thing. No, he's just got a normal voice, you know. So it's funny, like people out there, maybe, you know, French people or Germans. I mean, all Germans speak English, but not all French do. You know, they've never seen these films in the English version, perhaps, and they have no idea that like, you know, Arnie is getting around as a Terminator with an Austrian accent. Why did they program the Terminator to speak with that accent? Oh, don't think about it. Jeff says he has a terrible Austrian accent. I can barely understand him. When he tries to speak German, his English is much better. That happens, man. You would be surprised. Mel was here so we didn't have Victoria, for Mel was here for 8 years or so. So the only French she spoke was, she didn't really speak it because, a lot of times, you just speak with your parents in text. And she was noticing she was starting to lose her French. And Arnold has been in the States for what, 30 years or more. You don't use it, you lose it. It really is bizarre. Even your mother tongue. The Austrian accent in Terminator was explained in a deleted scene in Terminator 3. Oh my god. And Mo says that scene was the only good one. They cut it. Yeah, I remember I watched Terminator 3 once, and I didn't go back for the deleted scenes. I don't actually acknowledge any Terminator after Terminator 2. It's all fanfic. All right, I will check it out though. I will check out that scene. I'm interested in the explanation. Sometimes when you write, big complicated stories and then things change, things can get a bit convoluted in ironing out plot holes. It just happens. Yeah, it's part of it. KSS says Bancroft Arnold's Terminator has a deep Southern accent. I don't remember that. Hey, I'll be back, y'all. You sound like Forrest Gump. I know what John Connor is. That would have changed, I think. I wouldn't have enjoyed it as much. I don't think. Ellie says Austria is the Kentucky of Prussia. I've never been. I do find them difficult to understand though, down there. Any like Bavaria, that sort of accent. There's a lot of rolling of the R's. I used to have such a trained ear in German, I could pick where you came from. I could say that's a Stuttgart accent, or that's a Bonn accent or something. That's a Kölnish accent. But no, it's all German to me now. Mark says Austria is beautiful. I would like to go one day. Austria, Bavaria, go back to Switzerland. I didn't spend hardly any time in Switzerland, but I was mostly just in Zurich, and maybe it was just Zurich. Can't remember. It was a long time ago. I want to go to the Alps. One day. I say that I don't actually really like going on holidays because I just feel like I'm taking too much time away from drawing. Vienna waits for you. Not Kölnish, Mo. Kölnish. How do you spell that, Jav? Is Jav still here? People from Cologne, or Köln, as it's called in Germany. It's in German, it's C-O with the umlaut L-N. And in English, it's cologne, as in, you know, men's cologne. But they're unusual because just in this city, they have their own little accent. It's very weird. Kulch. There you go. Thank you. I got it wrong. Kulch. And I know I didn't find, everyone said, oh, it's so hard to understand them. I didn't find it that hard to understand because I was living in Dusseldorf, which is quite close. But maybe they were being easy, taking it easy on me, you know, articulating or something. But you get out of the station at Cologne, and I've seen people post similar videos of this. I've had that exact experience. There's a cathedral there. It's called the Kölner Dom. I'm probably slaughtering that one as well, but it is, I would say, the most transformative experience I've ever had in front of a building. Like, everyone said, oh, it's pretty impressive, and then you see pictures of it, you know, on the internet. But to actually stand in front of this thing, it's like I remember I think I stood there for half an hour, just, you know, mind blown. The friggin' scale of it, it's hard to believe, and it's, you know, Gothic. It's original Gothic architecture all the way up. This facade it's so enormous you can't even believe that human beings made it. I think it took 600 years to build or something. It's all weathered, so it's black from the years. It's pretty epic. It's pretty metal. Gottenhimmel, yes. People might think you were talking about Kamala Harris speaking into Trump. Although I'm told it's pronounced Kamala, but Kamala? I'd say Kamala. I'm Australian. That's how I pronounce it, all right? Hopefully, I won't have to pronounce it much longer. Camel toe. Most speaking. It's so enormous you wouldn't believe that humans made it. From Bancross to right to on Yelp. But wait, there's a twist. And it's black. No, but I've seen videos of tourists arriving there and just filming their impressions as well, and just being, you know, awestruck. I mean, already in Germany, coming from Australia, we don't have anything that old that's, you know, lasted. The Aboriginals didn't build anything, so, the oldest thing we have is a bridge in Tasmania that's from the 1820s or something. I don't know, something like that. Moving to France soon. Maybe. I don't know. It's pretty complicated because, this is where my job is. France is, I don't know. I feel like it could eventually head in the right direction, but it hasn't gone there yet. But Australia is getting prohibitively expensive to live in. The price of everything is just going up so quickly, so much that it's like one step forward, two steps back. I know it's like that all over the world, but in Australia the pressure is more because there's so few options for us. America, there's still tons of small towns. Small towns, we do have towns here, but what's ended up happening is there's so few of them compared to what's needed, that a lot of them are just overrun by rich retirees. So it's not any cheaper to live rural in Australia anymore. Whereas the US, like Europe, is just dotted with cities, and you'll have multiple cities in one state. We have one city per state, and we have 7 states, and there's only really, if you're going to talk major cities, there's only 5, I think, in Australia. You got Perth, Adelaide, Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, Canberra. I don't know if I'll call it major. I mean, it is, I guess there's, okay, let's count Canberra. 6. Yeah, I don't know how Hobart or Launceston is going at the moment. That's it. Like, that's all. That's where you have to live if you want to be able to kind of make a living. So everyone's, everything's crammed in these little places, and the price goes up. What about Mount Nipple, says Mo. Yeah, I could move out to Mount Nipple, I suppose. Can't Commonwealth people move to Canada? No. No, I think we have, we get a little bit of a visa sort of thing. I think, you can work in the UK for a year, unsponsored. You could just go over there as a whatever. Be a bar. A lot of people, do bar work, stuff like that. I think it's the same in Canada, but no, you can't just move in. That's not a thing. It's not like the EU or anything like that. It's more of a ceremonial, historical sort of thing. It's like the king is technically your king, but it's not like he does anything. It's a visa sort of thing. No need to drown us in fine print, says Mo. Go into the details. Yeah. A lot of Australians will go over to England to do casual jobs or whatever, and a lot of the English will come here and do backpacking and stuff like that. Escape the Commonwealth. It's been a bit. I don't know. Maybe if King Charles kicks the bucket and King William comes in. King William, I just saw, is growing a nice regal beard by the look of it, which I'm down for. He could look like King George or something. Bancroft, I have a question. I don't know if I've ever asked before. This is KSS asking. Were you aware of the Rama Rama song before so many Americans started playing that song? No, I never heard the Rama Rama song before, but every Australian is very, very much aware of the situation. So it didn't come as any kind of surprise that they would have done that. It's pretty nuts up there, and it's getting crazier. The king is useless. Bancroft of the royal line. Yes. Well, maybe if they finally acknowledged my royal heritage, they could have a king in Australia, and we could get some things done. We would have to fight, me and my other Australian royal bloodliners, over who would take the crown, but I think that would be fair. Snuggie says, ain't had a chance to read my Lucent yet. Well, when you do, Snuggie, please leave a review afterwards. And thank you for posting those pics the other day. That was very kind of you. I appreciate it. I do hope you enjoy the book. It has been getting very good reviews. Speaking of reviews, I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be going on to Well Reds at some point, I think in the next couple of weeks, to review Hotel Story by Narwhal, which I haven't read yet, but I have a copy, so I will dive into it. I look forward to it. I haven't read Narwhal in a while. I've heard good things, so hopefully it'll be good. He says, this weekend, I'll read it. Mo says, Bancroft, if you get stopped at the border, just put on your rainbow sombrero and use the Taco Bill accent. They'll get me right in. They'll give me a hotel room. They'll give me what do you get, like $13,000 in food stamps? Something crazy. That's the way to do it. Why else would anyone do it any differently? That song gets stuck in your head, though, doesn't it? Brothers, sisters, no bandera. It's very catchy. I guess they did a pretty good job with it. They have special petrol up there that you can't sniff. It's really bad. It's not as bad as fentanyl or anything, but it's not good. This world is nuts. Yeah, remember what was that movie? Why didn't I do the rest here? What was that movie? The Network? I'm as mad as hell. Is that it? Newsroom? I can't remember. I'm as mad as hell. I'm not going to take it. That was a great speech. I haven't listened to that in ages. It's sort of, some of the references are dated, but the gist of it is bang on still to this day. Moses, they have special petrol up there. You can't sniff, said Bancroft dejectedly. Oh, I was going to have a good Friday night. There goes my plans. That's almost not safe for work. You should see some later pages there, Snuggie. Let me see if I can open one up for you. Where is it? That's it there. Yeah, Rod doesn't have the same level of, contrite sort of respect for ladies. I mean, she's wearing leggings or something, like, what do you call it, like leotards or something. But yeah, that's I don't know what you call that shot. She's very flexible. Shirtless men, is that what you count as not saying? All the men have shirts. The crotch shot, says Joe Sontag. Joe's going to be on my channel tomorrow. This channel. Who am I talking to? Joe's going to be here tomorrow. He's sending Reaper Destroyer to print. We're going to catch up. It's been a while since I've chatted with Joe. I'm sure we have war stories to tell. Easy fix for a Kickstarter campaign, says Snuggie. I'm sure we have stories to tell. War stories, as it were. Do I have a... Let's use that. Very excited to see that book go to print, especially given we had the classic launch back in the day. A big moment. Oh, and later today I think it's at 9 p.m. I'll be over on with Death Metal Hero Luke to unbox his package of the Lucent. There's a show where he opens up his packages. He's got Painted Death. So he's going to do that live, which is going to be fun. I hope you'll all join us there. What if he hates it? That'd be bad. That'd be awkward. It's like, This is looking great so far, says Cranberry Langus. Thank you. Rod, yeah, it's one of my favorite pages. I really like what he did. Oh, boy. I actually got an email, Rod. Rod's in Brazil. In Brazil, you can't be on Twitter anymore. They banned it. I gotta get in touch with him. Try at least finish Ella. Make sure you get a good night's sleep before going on Well Red so you can keep up with the energy. I like Well Red. Well Red hung out with me in Tampa when I couldn't speak. I like his pace. It's like, it's like a hot summer's evening on a porch, sipping lemonade and fanning yourself with a thing in like in Alabama or something. I don't know. What is this? It shouldn't be there. It's a slower pace of life. The real reason they banned Twitter in Brazil was due to Bancroft and Rod's DMs. Rumble was also banned. I saw they had big demonstrations. No one came out to see the president or whatever. They had big demonstrations for free speech. I don't know if anything's going to come of it. So you get with socialists, unfortunately. That's what happens. Do you want to do the same thing here? I think they want to try and ban Twitter as well. We don't have any enshrined freedom of speech in Australia. It's implied, which just means anyone's interpretation that day. Fanning yourself with a thing. Yeah, you mean a fan? Yeah, that thing, the fan thing. Exactly. Right. Just a couple of eyes, and we are. Well, I mean, I'm done. I gotta go to work. The page is not done, but I'll finish it up later. So, relook at this. It's better. And a bit down here too. When is this launching, Snuggie? I don't know. I don't like to launch things at the end of the year. I also think that a lot of campaigns are kind of dragging at the moment. So I'm gonna try and start doing shorts and stuff again, rebuild a bit of buzz around the channel before going live. That might be a 2, 3, 4 month process. I don't know how long it's going to take. But yeah, so I'm thinking next year. I don't want to, we put a lot of work into this. Rod put a lot of work into it. I don't want to launch it and, as everyone else is thinking of something else, or they're just not paying attention because, I've only been streaming. I haven't really been doing anything for the algorithm. It's so probably next year sometime. All right, I think I was mildly productive. Mo says, depending on the results in November, you may get a nice bump by not launching next year. Exactly. There's that too. I hadn't even considered it. But that is a very good point. Or it might be even more concerning. What do we start with? Nothing to that in a couple of hours. Not bad. I've done better, but could be worse. You guys are talking about pubes and ice cream. Excellent. Excellent. I just want to do one last plug while I have you here. For anybody who Where is it? Share the screen. Anybody who hasn't yet, please do sign up to this. I will be having discounts. I'm going to start doing end of month giveaways. So they'll probably be Fractured Mind related, whatever it is. I don't know, some kind of art. I'll think about it. So make sure you signed up, because I'm going to be giving away things to people who are signed up. I'm going to be giving away to people and things in the chat, whatever. And also, if you haven't yet, please do click this link. I've made it very easy for everyone. Click this link up here at the top of the website. You can't see it because I'm covering it up, but it is there. And leave a review, please. I've been getting a ton. They've been excellent. I love reading them. They warm the cockles of my heart. If there are cockles in the heart, I don't know. I do love reading them. And I'm trying to get to 100 all in all across the site. That would be amazing. Oh, and look, one back away from 950. That's good. Excellent. Excellent. All right, everybody. I will see you later over at Death Metal Heroes, Luke's channel, at 9 p.m. And then I'll see you tomorrow again at 9 p.m. after the Diaz Bros show with this man right here, Mr. Joe Sontag. He says, I think I'm going to do my next camping. He's going to camp next year. He said campaign or camping? I don't know. But I'll be seeing you around. Enjoy yourself. Thank you for watching. Bye.
Perth made an Australian video, and I wasn't even in it.
Emotional damage.